It is nearly 5 a.m. and I am awake, and it is time to have my pre-workout meal and get my ass to the gym, get my training session done. Okay, so what I've essentially got here is my pre-workout meal. It is a sourdough bagel. You don't need a lot of carbohydrates, but a few carbohydrates and a few grams of fat is helpful and useful for a pre-workout meal. Fat helps aid in slowing the digestion, so you're not getting this massive sugar crash in the middle of your training session. And I'll wash it down with my coffee, just an espresso pod coffee with 100 ml of fat-free milk. I'm going to have a look at my emails and see if any more came in since I woke up this morning. We're going to try this one today. So this protein here, it is a vegan protein powder blend. It's got about 4 different types of vegan protein in it. Being a vegan protein powder, you do want a protein blend. If I were to get just straight yellow pea protein, it's a pretty inferior amino acid profile when it comes to comparing it to that of whey protein. The big benefit obviously of animal proteins is they have a very comprehensive amino acid profile, meaning that they have good levels of both the non-essential and the essential amino acids. There's 2 major categories of amino acids. You can technically look at a third category being kind of like it's almost like an intermediate, but for simplicity's sake, you've got non-essential and you've got essential amino acids. Non-essential, your body can manufacture and produce those if it needs to. Obviously, it's preferable to get those amino acids from your diet, but worst case scenario, your body has pathways in which it can produce these amino acids on its own. You can get them from pretty much every protein source in relatively high amounts. When it comes to the essential amino acids, though, the ones that your body cannot produce, and therefore your body requires you to consume adequate amounts from your diet, they're a little bit trickier. If you're eating plant-based protein sources, you want to get a blend or a combination of multiple plant-based protein sources, preferably to balance out the amino acid profile, so you're getting a good serving of all of those essential amino acids. Because typically what you'll find with plant-based protein sources is, sure, they might have all of the essential amino acids, but they won't have sufficient levels of all of the essential amino acids. They'll be very high in maybe like 1 or 2 of them, and then the other 7, they'll be quite low. So the way that we get around this is you want to have, say, 3 or so different protein sources to get a well-rounded amino acid profile that'll be comparable to that of, say, whey protein or some other animal-based protein source. That's basically what I recommend. So if you're a vegan, get a vegan protein blend, or try find potato protein isolate. That's probably the closest, most comparable amino acid profile to that of whey protein isolate out of all the plant-based protein sources. Potato protein isolate, but if you're going to get say pea protein isolate or brown rice protein isolate, then you probably want to get a couple and mix them together so you get a more comprehensive, well-rounded amino acid profile and meet your body's requirements when it comes to the 9 essential amino acids that it cannot produce. Okay, so one other thing that I also like to do on my post-workout meal is just put some sugar-free maple syrup. It's got about 50 calories per 100 grams, 100 mil. So I don't really count this or track this. I just put, especially when I'm in my maintenance phase, recomp phase, off-season phase. If it was toward the tail end of prep, I'd be tracking it. But for simplicity's sake and to just not have to do my head in over shit, I don't track it at this current point in time. And yeah, pour the protein shake over and voila, got my coffee. So pretty much what I got here is my glucose support supplements. I've got a script for metformin, so I take metformin in the mornings. I've got some kidney support, which just has a variety of ingredients that help support proper kidney function and health. And I've also got some just general vital organ support, as well as 81 milligrams of aspirin. I've also got some TUDCA as well, which is liver support. When I'm in my off-season maintenance phase, when I'm not taking any hard supplements or anything like that, I take 300 milligrams of TUDCA, and then if I'm prepping just to give myself that additional liver support, I will take 600 to 900 milligrams of TUDCA a day. Do some work. I've got no client calls this morning, which is really rare, which is why I figured I'd film a full day of eating. I haven't had this cereal before, so let's see what it's like. The crunch factor is really good. Flavor is really good. Like, you can taste the cinnamon, but it's not overpowering. I'd give it like a 8.5 out of 10. Okay, so I've got some groceries while I was at the shops. Some more fat-free, lactose-free milk. Some egg whites. What I got for lunch was this, a burrito. Usually I don't eat out, but I figured I'd just make today a little bit more interesting, seeing as I am filming it, full day of eating. So now I'm gonna eat this and watch a little bit of YouTube, because it is now 1:30 p.m. and I'll see you for the next meal. There we go. Okay, so this is the next meal. I guess you could say snack, to be honest. So I'll eat these and then I'll get into the work. Do some emails and have probably my final meal. I'll just have a big one. So it is now 7:30. You probably can't see that, it's probably not focusing, but it is 1 hour away from bedtime for me. So that means I need to get to work in regard to finishing off my macros for the day. So still got that 100 or so grams of protein to go. I've got about 20 grams of fat left, and I've got, I believe, about 100 or so grams of carbohydrates left. So instead of having the salad, I've decided to opt for a stir fry for two main reasons. Reason number one, stir fries taste better. It's a bit of a no-brainer. Secondly, I haven't really had many vegetables today, and the micronutrient content of vegetables that you stir fry, roast, steam, boil, the more fibrous, dense ones, have a higher, better micronutrition profile than, say, lettuce and cucumber and other salad ingredients. Even though they're still good for you and they're still healthy, the fiber content's lower per 100 grams, the vitamin mineral content's typically lower per 100 grams too, with the exception of things like capsicum and whatnot that are very dark, kind of dense salad ingredients. But considering the majority of salad is lettuce and cucumber and things like that are pretty void of micronutrition, I don't want to be using those to hit my vegetable targets for the day, because I'm definitely going to be hitting my vitamin and mineral requirements if I do that. So I'm going to have stir-fried vegetables, Thai style. It's just half a kilo, so a bit over a pound for you Americans. And so yeah, I'm going to use that, cook that, stir-fry it with this pre-marinated honey soy chicken. Per 100 grams, you're looking at 19 grams of protein, 1.4 grams of fat, and 6.5 grams of carbs. So you multiply those values by 5. That'll pretty much polish off the remainder of my protein for the day, as well as a large portion of my fat and carbohydrates, which will leave still a substantially large amount of carbohydrates to polish off for the day, as well as some trace protein and fats, which I'm going to do with dessert, which will be some 97% fat-free chopped caramel swirl ice cream that I have in the freezer, along with a couple of chopped peanut butter pie, Oreo biscuits, cookies, whatever you want to call them. And I'll crush them up and put them over the top. So obviously you don't want to eat 100 grams of protein in a single sitting typically, although because it is an hour before I go to bed, I don't like to eat right before bed. It disrupts my sleeping pattern and it makes my quality of sleep go down substantially. That obviously has a trickle over effect in my performance in the gym, my ability to recover from the training because I'm not getting sufficient rest, and then that just negatively impacts the remainder of my week, each successive day after that. So to avoid doing that, I'm going to have the majority of my food now, which means I'm going to have a larger protein serving, obviously, because I've still got to hit my protein requirements for the day. So this is the entirety of that stir fry, half a kilogram of pre-marinated honey soy chicken breast stir fry strips, and then you've got the 500 grams or a bit over a pound of stir fried Thai vegetables. I put a little bit of buffalo wing sauce in here when I was cooking it too, just to add a little bit of spice. And then I've also got my final supplements for the day. I've got my kidney support, some NAC, N-acetylcysteine, fish oil, and vitamin D. Wash it down with this sugar-free lemonade and eat this. Then it'll be dessert time. Okay, so this is the final meal of the day. And that is the ice cream with 2 Oreo cookies, because that's all I could fit with my fat macros. So I'm gonna put the macros up on the screen here, and yeah, that is a full day of eating. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. Also drop a comment down below. It helps me out a lot more with the YouTube algorithm. If you'd like to see more in the future, hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I actually upload new videos. And with that said guys, I'm gonna eat this, go to bed, peace.